Welcome to the Internet Marketing Funnel Podcast. I'm David Bain. Hi, and welcome to another edition of the podcast brought to you by InternetMarketingFunnel.com. This is part 5 of my interview with Craig McGill, who's a specialist in PR 2.0. In this section we cover global marketing for local businesses and common press release mistakes. So I was just going to ask, are there any other areas of Web 2.0 that BT are looking at the moment as possible areas that they can advise their clients on?
At the moment, as I say, and especially just on the back of this conversation, pushing it more to me, we're already in chats with a number of them about blogs and saying, here's what you do, but also be aware of here's your time commitment. And we're also, once we've finished that, we're going to push more of this aspect of the RSS feed. But one thing a couple of companies I've noticed, not necessarily BT clients, but I noticed a lot of companies still don't do this, is they don't have their press releases on their own website. And I think that in this day and age, that's a fundamental error for many, because it means that you're losing out on all those cross-references from the Google hits, from the search engine spiders, going and pulling all that back, so that every time, for example, if someone went to look at Retrofest, they also see BT Communications, and the link is there. And obviously, from our point of view, that means that if someone says, I was really impressed with what BT Communications, with what the PR company for Retrofest did, I'm not sure who it is. They type in Retrofest, BT comes up on the front page, they know, brilliant, it's BT Communications, I'll get in touch with Craig McGill. That's where I think a lot of companies have to start looking at, because storage is pennies these days. Yeah. It's not a problem to store a text file, and that's what we're looking at. Again, each client, we don't have a blanket, this fits every customer policy. That would be to do them all a disservice. What we're doing with each of them is saying, here's what works. A podcast will work for you, but it won't work for you. A blog will work nicely for you. An RSS feed is good for you. And for companies, what we are advising is most companies need to have something on the web. They need to have some form of presence, because nowadays, a lot of places, if they can't see you on the web, they're not sure if you really exist. And it's just one of these things. It's like a phone number, it's like a fax, it's like having a physical office. Everyone has a presence now. You don't have to be on the likes of Second Life or try and sponsor buildings in World of Warcraft or any of the large, massive multi-online games, but you do need to be seen somewhere on the web, preferably under your own website. And that's what we're just making sure, with our customers, we like to make sure that the content is there, and that what each of them has is something focused and specific to them.
So do you suggest writing slightly differently for the web as opposed to hard copy?
I think it depends on the client's needs. For example, Dawn Construction have been an incredibly open company when it comes to grasping the possibilities of the web and the internet. And they like their press releases on the web to be a little more informal. And that's just one of these things, because they've done studies that show a lot of the time people looking at their websites are either staff or clients. So instead of the very informal, Dawn are doing this, Dawn are doing that, they tweak it a little to say, we are doing this, which may not seem like a big change, but it's enough of a change that they've found people like to read it that way. It gives it, it makes the atmosphere more friendly, more cozy. And that's something we can advise on. Again, it's not for everything. Ultimately, there's always the balance of what you advise, what the client wants, and sometimes if you're not in agreement, you have to, each person persuades the other and you put your points across. But it comes down to having that good relationship in the first place.
I like your point that you made about no blanket approach, because it's so frustrating for people to actually see so many different options available for them in internet marketing. And the reality is, even although everything will work a little bit, some will work better than others. It's important to choose the best, the most relevant aspects of internet marketing that's right for an individual company to choose that. It was interesting also what you said about companies not having press releases on their own website and how it would really benefit them. Are there any other kind of big mistakes that you've seen companies make with regards to Web 2.0 PR and could you possibly give us an overview of other mistakes?
Sure. Yeah, I would hate to single out any company there have been absolute howlers committed by many companies. I think, as I just said, I won't name any, but the one that I think everyone online remembers just now is the great Sony PSP gaffes with last year, tail end of last year, start of this year, where they tried to promote their handheld game console, the PSP, and they had all these videos and this sort of guerrilla, I can see what they thought was a guerrilla Web 2.0 website setup, and it was then revealed that it was all professionals. It wasn't just Mark from Manhattan posting up here's me sitting in my bedroom playing my PSP. It was actual actors, with proper directors and professionals filming and so on, and it destroyed them because they were slammed for it because it was against the whole ethos of the idea of Web 2.0 being every individual's own user-generated content. And I think to an extent, Sony may just have done that because someone somewhere has said, look, let's do something Web 2.0, it'll be hip, it'll be cool. And they never actually got the idea behind it. So that was a disaster for them. I think the biggest disaster any company can do is to embrace the concept without understanding the concept. As I say, setting up a MySpace page and then leaving it is pointless.
That's the end of this podcast, but you can subscribe to updates which tell you as soon as another episode's published at internetmarketingfunnel.com/podcast.